now plunge hooked on sonics with roots and tone Capone.
And we're live.
We sure are. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Hooked on Sonics. I am one of your two hosts, Bruce, and as always, everyone's brother from another mother, the Tone Capone. And this week, we've got some really interesting albums to go over. We've got Obituary's self-titled album from 2017, and local Columbus, Ohio legends Howlin Maggie with their debut album almost 30 years ago. Hard to believe that. Honeysuckle Strange. Um, some really cool news that just dropped today. We'll talk about that. And, we'll be getting into what we've been checking out. But before we can get into all of that, Tony, the people want to know, and they don't want you bullshitting them this time. You've been bullshitting them a while now. They just want to know the truth. How are you?
Oh man, today I feel like a hot mess. I'm not gonna lie. Woke up, throat sore. I'm just doing my best to get us through the show tonight. I'm gonna try to do it and get it done. We do got some big important news to drop. A couple really nice albums to review, I can imagine,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah. Programming note, everyone, because Tony's not feeling well, and quite frankly, I didn't have time to get to the liquor style. We're not doing any drink reviews tonight, so we're staying dry.
Drinking water. Yeah.
We can do water reviews.
Okay, yeah, this is a Kroger water bottle. Um, Bottle's slightly flimsy, not really too firm. Water inside.
That happens with age. Uh, and I
It
have
it tastes like water. It's not the best tasting water. It's not the worst tasting water. It tastes like water.
on the water scale. How much would you give it?
I'm gonna give it a 3.
And I have Cumberland Gap water from good old Middlesboro, Kentucky. The finest spring water this side of the Mississippi River. It's my go-to drink of choice when I don't want alcohol. Damn
Ugh.
fine water. Give you a 5. Pick it up anywhere. There you go.
You and I probably have very different water standards.
I'm telling you, this is the best water.
You're out of your mind.
Anyway, what have you been listening to, dude?
Oh, this week, Castle Rat. I've
Who?
just started checking them out. Castle Rat.
What do they do?
I want to say it's Fantasy Doom.
Okay.
Uh, they are rocking. They're one of the bands that played at the Ace of Cups here recently this year, and I did not get a ticket in time, man. It sold the fuck out quick.
Hmm.
So I do want to see them here in the future, and we'll be talking about it. My opportunity when we get into the
Mm.
news on that. The other thing is, I was listening to a lot of Obituary, man. I'll show them when I get them. I'm so excited by it. I've bought every album that I could digitally, um, and I've considered buying the box set that just recently dropped. However, I don't own 2 of the albums that were out of print, Executioner's Return and Darkest Days, for right about $50. I picked them up off of Discogs, and I'm just waiting on them in the mail, man. And then that finishes my Obituary studio collection. I'm very excited by that
Hell yeah.
because there's very few bands like if I can get your stuff digitally, I'll own it digitally. I don't have room to store all this stuff as far as physical media space, so I'm very limited in what I do carry. I'd like to get a bigger house so I could dedicate a room to it, man, because that'd be where I'd want to invest my money right now is just in physical media.
Hmm.
Because I miss the days of going to the like I was just to be honest with you, man. I was I was listening to some Ohm. I was listening to some uh, Obituary this week, definitely, and I think some Napalm Death this week. But I was at the Chinese store or Chinese restaurant today. There's a pawn shop. You know, down there on Eakin by Kroger, Wong's right beside it.
Yeah.
There's a pawn shop, and the funny thing is my board is still sitting down there,
Is it
and
really?
it really is. It's still sitting on the shelf down there, dude. And uh, they had two stacks, two CD racks full of CDs. So I went through them and I seen a few that I could grab. They only wanted $1 for them, but I didn't. I seen a few that I could grab, but they weren't must have need in my collection. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Some of them would have been for Kate, like Chub Wumpa's Tub Thumping or whatever the hell that is. She's a big fan of that song, and I'm pretty sure she'd probably dig the rest of the album. But I just I, hard pass. I just nothing. If there was $5 worth of CDs to pick up there at $1 a piece, I would have grabbed them. But nothing I really needed in my collection.
I get knocked down. I dropped again.
I hate that freaking song. They tried to do. They just wore it out on the radio, man. You know what I
That's
mean?
not. It's some Chumbawamba's fault.
They just wore it out on the radio, man. Sometimes I'd hear that so many times a night in a pizza shop when I was working
Mm,
that fucking I'd go to bed and that shit would be fucking ringing in my head.
that's funny.
What you been listening to?
Wow, man. Let's see. I was listening to the Korean Psychedelic Jungle, which is pretty cool. Our buddy Wes uh, gave us an album, the Sensational Alex Harvey Band. Uh, this album called Next. That's been pretty cool. Listen to both of the Silverhead albums. Uh, Wolfgang Van Halen, Mammoth released a new album, The End. I was listening to that. Um, oh, lots of other stuff. Maybe a couple things that one of these things I might give you this week. So, and then, yeah, that's about it. That's about it for right now. Didn't pick up anything. Oh, wait a minute. I lied. Where is it at? Oh, damn it. Okay, I'll have to save show and tell for next week. I thought I had it, and I moved it. To be continued. Anyway, so that's that. Uh, well, I guess we can get into some news.
Yes, indeed we can. Indeed we can. Sorry, I was looking up something in regards to what album I'm thinking about giving you.
Hmm,
So
pay attention.
I am sorry.
All right. So, I guess we'll just start with the big news. Sonic Temple, the music festival, just released their lineup for the 4-day event. It's going to be held May 14th through the 17th at the historic Crew Stadium there in Columbus. What did this used to be called? Rock on the Range. It
Rock
used
on
to
the
be called
Range.
Rock on the Range back in the day.
Yep.
And now they switched to Sonic Temple. If you want, we can just go through each day and just kind of pick out some of the bands that kind of interest us. If you want,
I'd say just ramble off the names of each day. I'm going to go. I'll take whatever day you want me to take. We'll back and forth on it because there's a lot of bands, man.
yeah.
There's a lot of bands, and if you're a listener and you're familiar with some of these bands, comment it. Let us know what you think of them.
Mm-hmm.
Give us one of their albums to review. We want to hear from you. So,
All right.
do
I'll
you
let
want?
you start with Thursday. We'll switch off. You do Thursday and Saturday.
Okay. So for Thursday, main headliner is My Chemical Romance, Pierce the Veil, All Time Low, Coheed and Cambria, looks like LS Dunes, Hawthorne Heights, Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, Breaking Benjamin, Rise Against, I want to say it's the Used,
Yep.
Flyleaf with Lacey Sturm, Fozzy, Egypt Central, Slaughter to Prevail, Whitechapel, Thy Art is Murder, Attila, Body Snatcher, Carnifex, Disembodied Tyrant, Dayseeker, Magnolia Park, Catch Your Breath, Holding Absence, Windwalkers, Nerve, The Pretty Wild, Wind Waker, Behemoth, Cradle of Filth, Dying Fetus, Cattle Decapit, God bless it, Cattle Decapitation, Napalm Death, Flesh God Apocalypse, Suffocation, and Necrogoblicon. That is a full day's lineup, and keep in mind those bands appear on about 5 different stages. Bruce, you're up with Friday, bud.
We're all before we get to the next day. Which one of those are you really looking forward to?
Honestly, I'd love to see My Chemical Romance. I hear they put on a hell of a show. I know that sounds crazy for a guy like me, but no, I dig them. I dug them when they were pretty popular. I did like them. I want to see Slaughter to Prevail. I hear they put on a really good show. I want to see Cradle because it'll be like my third or fourth time seeing them, and I really do like them live. I'd like to check out Dying Fetus, Cattle Decapitation. I'd love to see Napalm Death again. Want to see Suffocation, and kind of interested in seeing Necrogoblicon. But those are a lot of those bands I still have yet to check into and get into
Mhm.
through other, intense personal research.
Gotcha. The ones that look interesting to me is My Chemical Romance. Uh, Pierce the Veil's kind of interesting. I know Andy Biersack, their singer, is a big uh, Kiss fan, and they did a cover of Unholy. That wasn't horrible.
Well, Andy
Uh,
Biersack, ain't he with Black Veil Brides?
oh, you're right.
Yeah, sorry.
Ah.
They're on the bill. They're on the bill.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing Fozzy. I like oh shit, Jericho. I like Jericho. He's a good
Hmm.
dude. And that's about it.
I would drag you, if you were here, I would drag you to go see Slaughter to Prevail with me. I would
Mm,
drag you to see Cradle of Filth with me.
mm,
And definitely Napalm Death.
mm.
You didn't get to see them with the Melvins when they rolled through. You seen them with Red Cross. And
Yeah.
Napalm Death put on a hell of a show.
Mm. I'll take
Uh,
your word for it. All right,
did it?
Friday. We've got Shine Down, Dude, Hailstorm, Stone Temple Pilots, Daughtry. Oh, you hear that, Stevie? Hinder, Buckcherry. Then we have The Offspring, Sublime, Yellow Card, Newfound Glory, Everclear, and Lit. Um, Next up, we got Simple Plan, Story of the Year, Atreyu,
Atreyu.
damn, them too. Bless the Fall, Crown, The Empire, The World Alive, The Word Alive, Woe is Me,
Lorna Shore.
okay?
Kublai,
Kubla,
Kublai Khan.
yep, Kubla Khan, Pale Face Swift, Healthy Grin, Brand of Sacrifice, Signs of the Swarm, Jilica, Not Enough Space, Left on Red, Zack Sabbath, Seven Dust, Static X, Dope, Power Man 5000, Mushroom Head, Soil, and Flaw. For me, uh, the only ones I'd be remotely interested in: Stone Temple Pilots, Hailstorm. I've seen Offspring quite a few times. I don't know if I'd see them again. Um, let's see, man, Zack Sabbath. The other, I could care
No,
less about
no, no Sublime.
no.
Dude,
Sublime.
early in the morning,
That's a great song.
rising to dude. They've got so many great songs. Uh, that's
Yeah,
it for you, huh?
that's it for me.
So for me, I'd like to see Stained again. Um, I wouldn't mind seeing Daltrey with my wife. The Offspring with my wife and my daughter. I'd love to see them with them. I'd love to see Sublime with my wife and my daughter. Uh, I don't really care for the rest of that. I don't care for any of that. I don't care for much of that. Checking out Zach Sabbath. I'd love to see Static X because Edsel Dope is now fronting that act, and he's doing a really good job from what I've seen. And for them to go in and do Dope, and then you got Powerman 5000, and Mushroomhead always puts on a good show. So I could definitely find shit to do that day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's not a bad day for me. Now, of the bands that I've seen Static X and Dope before. I've seen Powerman 5000 before. Um, I've seen Sublime before, but I've seen him with Rome, and I have seen Stain before, and then that was a long, long time ago. But I got Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Bring Me the Horizon's your big headliner that day. Good Charlotte, Motionless in White, Black Veil Brides, The Plot in You, Palais Royale, Amira Alefaki, Marilyn Manson, Bush, Alter Bridge, Tom Morello, Cold Chamber, All That Remains. The story so far: Mayday Parade, Motion City Soundtrack, The Wonder Years, State Champs, Citizen, Knuckle Puck, Architects, The Amity Affliction, August Burns Red, The Ghost Inside, Make Them Suffer, Alpha Wolf, Alt, Novelist, Body Count, featuring Ice-T. I don't know why it says featuring Ice-T. Ice-T, everybody always knows it's fuck Ice-T's been in Body Count. Sepultura. Something to note about that Sepultura. This is probably the last time you'll see that lineup of Sepultura. Rumor has it they're calling it quits after that. Creator, Carcass, Biohazard. I think this is an interesting one because these are some of the first Biohazard dates we're seeing them come back to performing.
Uh-huh.
So I'd definitely love to see them. Snot. This is a reunion show from what I understand. So part of their reunion tour, if they're doing a tour. CKY and Butcher Babies. Of the bands on that day, I would like to see Manson. I've never seen him. And I would love to see Body Count, Carcass, Biohazard, and that Sepultura.
Okay. Uh,
So
yeah, not a great
what about
Saturday.
you? What about you?
I would say Black Veil Brides now that I got it right. And I wouldn't mind seeing Marilyn Manson. I've never seen him. Ultra Voice is kind of interesting to me. Um, and then, yeah, definitely Body Count. That's
Yeah.
about it.
Would you want to see Biohazard?
Eh,
Yeah.
I could take it or leave it.
Yeah, I understand, but I think it put on a good show.
Yeah.
All right, you're Sunday. You're up.
That Sunday, closing it out, we've got Tool, Godsmack, Lamb of God, Black Label Society, Avatar, POD, Saliva. Then we got Megadeth, Public Enemy, Amon,
A
Amon,
monomarth.
I know, I got it.
A monomarth.
Yeah. Anthrax, In Flames, Demon Hunter, Electric Callboy. We came as Romans, we left as friends. Polaris, Bloody Wood, Throne, Thornhill, Conquer Divide. Dance, Gavin, dance. What's that? What's that thing?
Chiodos.
Okay. Thrice, Senses Fail, in Berlin, from first to last, Attack Attack, Drop Dead Gorgeous, Death Clock, Dragon Force, Apocalyptica, Devil Driver, Hailstorm, Wind Rose, Spirit World, and finally Castle Rat. Hmm.
Who would you want to see on that day?
Black Label Society, Megadeth, Anthrax, uh, and Dragon Force.
That's it.
That's it.
So by way of comparison, I would love to see Tool. I've never seen them. I hear it's a wonderful experience. I've seen Godsmack, would not mind seeing them again. Lamb of God, love that band. Would love to see them again. Black Label Society for sure. My wife will definitely want to see Saliva. So we may be parting ways during that time, depending on who's playing. Megadeth, that's a farewell thing for them. I definitely want to see them. Public Enemy would be definitely interesting. Amon Amarth, huge. They're in my top 5 to see live. Uh, they are Viking death metal, and they fucking rock. Sorry, they just do. Anthrax, I've seen before, but I'm not interested this time. In Flames, I've seen before, and not interested this time. Uh, the rest of that day's lineup, I would like to see Death Clock. It'd be really interesting, especially if they've got the background showing the fucking cartoon. And then Castle Rat's a big one for me. So that, like, if I had to pick out two bands on the whole thing, the bigger band and the smaller bigger band that I want to, or smaller band that I want to see most, I want to see Amon Amarth and I want to see Castle Rat most.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well,
Not a bad little lineup, man. They kind of spawned it across all different kind of genres, man.
yeah, yeah.
It,
But you know, uh,
it'd be nice to see a little more representation of Doom on Sonic Temple. I mean, they wean a little bit of it in there here and there, man, but I would love to see, a stage worth of fucking Doom.
yeah. Maybe next year. Well, 2 years from now, 2027.
Well, being that Doom's in a pretty good stride right now,
Yeah.
musically, I mean, it's a pretty hot form of metal right now.
Yeah. And then a couple other things, just real quick. The Stray Cats with Brian Setzer, they've canceled all their tour dates. He's got some serious medical issues going on. He's been struggling here for a while, and they just had to pull the plug. So that's kind of unfortunate. And then finally, a big teaser from Peter Chris. He's on Halloween this Friday. He's going to be releasing some new information on his upcoming album. Got a lot of heavy hitters on it. I haven't heard anything of it or anything other than, lots of special guests like Billy Sheehan, John Five, um, uh, oh shit, Paul Schaefer, a lot of different musicians on this album, and they're all saying it's really solid. So I don't know. My expectations are low because Peter's last album was absolute horrible, horrible. So we'll see. That's all I've got.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
And that is the news. So no brew reviews, water reviews went down tonight. Talked a little bit about music. Now I think it's time that we get into these album reviews.
Yeah, dude.
Who's up this week?
I think you are.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Do you want me to go first?
I'll go ahead and go.
I don't want to put you out.
I'll go ahead and go. All right. So you gave me Howlin Maggie, Honeysuckle Strange.
Mm-hmm.
Initial thoughts on this: mid '90s alternative done well. Uh, like the tunes, but something about the mix across some of the songs in this album seemed off. Um, I listened in the same headphones all the time, and I own several different quality pairs of headphones. Nothing that's in the $300,000 range or anything like that, but I own some pretty good headphones. The mix on some of these songs really seemed weird. So there's going to be some dingage for that. I just want to make that evident. Um, I guess these guys are out of Columbus, Ohio. I don't. I want to say I barely remember them being around. Um, there was another band that I remember around that time frame. called Watershed here locally that had broke a record and was in regular rotation on 99.7 The Blitz. And it was called Three Chords and a Cloud of Dust Live. And I remember there being a song on there called How Do You Feel? It's a pretty good tune. If you ever get the chance, check it out. They kind of get just that mid 90s alternative feel. So with that being said, I am not the biggest fan of the mid 90s alternative feel. There are some bands I really enjoy. My favorite band of that era was Smashing Pumpkins. However, just the I like some of the Gin Blossom stuff, some of the Cranberry stuff. Just a very little bit of things that would come in off of CD 101 back in the day. So I'm just not completely versed in this field. It's not particularly my favorite field. So just want to give you guys a heads up on that. Okay. I did my best to give this album a solid review. I'm not even at my final review yet, so let's just go ahead and get into it. Track number 1, Miss Universe. I gave this one a B. I said it's a good track, not a great opener. Feels mid 90s alternative. It's not skippable. It fits the vibe of the track. It's just this song does not grab me. Okay. If mid 90s alternative is your thing, it may grab you. It just didn't grab me as much as, like this did. Okay, this is a good song, but I think they could have been a better opener, and we're going to get into that. Track number 2, Alcohol. I gave this one A. I said, this is a nice riff, very groovy, nice solo work on this, and a really cool breakdown that was done on this one. Really digged this tune. Solid A, man. It's a solid A. Track number 3, Rubbing the Industry Raw. I gave this one an A. I really dig this tune. There was this really cool riffy, spacey thing that was really cool that was going on in the song that I was just like, yeah, that's pretty, like, whoever's doing the guitar work on here was doing a really good job. I really like the guitar work. I like all the players in this, but we get into an issue where the mix, just for some reason, it sounded off. I don't know why. It didn't sound, for everything that was going on, it was very, very off, So, and I just want to note that this track, in my opinion, should have been the opener. I think Miss Universe could have probably been second, and I probably would have liked it a little bit better, especially in placement, coming off of Rubbing the Industry Raw. So it could have scored a little bit higher. It was a good song, but it was just not the great opener. I think this Rubbing the Industry Raw would have been the killer opener, dude. So track number 4, Promise to Be Happy. I gave this one a B. Not a standout track. It fits the album. For me, it could have been skippable, but it fits the album, so we'll roll with it. Track number 5, I'm a Slut.
Now tell everyone the name of the song.
And that's the name of the song, I'm a Slut. I gave this one an A. It's a mid-pace tune. It picks up later around the solo, which is really, really cool. And I really dig the mellow vibes and lyrics of this song. And the other thing that really got me is there's an area in the song, I want to say possibly in the chorus, there were claps going on. And I like to hear that. But once again, this was a mix issue. Things could have sounded just a little bit weird. Like the mix seems slightly off to me for some reason, dude. I don't know why that is.
Mhm.
So we get into track number 6, You Are. And I gave this one an A. I said it was an acoustic track, a bit morbid ballad.
Mhm.
Really creepy overall feel and creepy undertones on this. Um, in way of comparison, Polka Dot Cadaver, the guys from some of the guys from Dog Fashion Disco, they did a song called Chloroform Girl. It sounds really beautiful ballad type thing, but when you get into the lyrical content, it's quite morbid. And I gave it an A because of that, man, because it's really cool to be able to pull something off that sounds somewhat sweet and happy, and then
Yeah.
the vocal undertones are kind of like it's not happy. It's not really that happy. Track number 7, Jawbreaker. I gave this one a B. I said it's a fun song, more upbeat, definitely alternative sound. I think along the lines of Eve 6 and Gin Blossoms around that time. But the reason why it got dinged so bad, I did not like the mix on this, dude. I did not like the mix on this. I even put a star beside there and said mix. Like the mix is what dung this is. Like for me, it didn't sit with me well. Um, and I'm no studio ear guy. Don't get me wrong. It didn't. I don't know, man. It didn't sound so polished as it should. Um, and maybe that was the goal, and that's understandable too. But I think it could have been improved by that. Track number 8, How the West Was Won. I gave this one an A. It is the longest track on the album, but really felt like a great jam session.
Mhm.
It just felt like a really cool jam session thing going on there, man. And I really liked that a lot. Track number 9, Motel Room. Hmm, hmm. Need to take a drink. My mouth is getting dry. Oh, all right. Track number 9, Motel Room. I gave this one a C.
What? Oh, oh,
It is
it's a part.
a slower to mid-pace tune. Felt almost like a hotel lounge tune. But the thing that dung it the most, dude,
Hmm.
and I just wrote, and I could be off on how I'm, describing this, but his falsetto, it wore on my nerve. It wore on my nerve really bad. You know how there's certain
Hmm.
things you don't like about vocal stuff,
Yeah, yeah,
something that when it sounds like that, it's not very pleasing to me. That's why, like I understand a lot of people get into King Diamond and stuff like that. I don't, it's also part of the reason why I don't listen to a lot of Judas Priest.
yeah.
I don't really like that high pitched shrill vocal at times. Um, Track number 10, 399. I gave this one an A plus. This song is just a driving, rocking. It's the best so far. I mean, I love the riff and the bass. It's also the shortest track on the album.
Hmm.
This the the only A plus I would give on this album was the shortest track on the album, but it was such a killer little rockin' tune, dude.
Mhm.
Then we get to the final track, "Long Live Doug Standing." Long live Doug Standing in
Mhm.
parentheses. I gave this one a B. I said a little more
Oh,
upbeat tune, once again fitting the 90s era alt vibe, just not a banger of a closer, man. And as I go back through the album, I try to go, man, what could have been a better closer? And I think if they would have swapped 399, maybe no, I can't say it would have scored higher, but it would have rested better in the album if they closed off the album with 399.
hmm.
And the lyrical content in 399 make more sense to close it off with.
Yep,
Buy my album for 399.
yep.
You know what I'm saying?
God,
So
what a time capsule. Buy this song for $3.99.
Yeah. So looking at this, there's 11 tracks. I gave 1, 2, 3, 4 B's and a C. Once again, this is not my forte. I'm pretty familiar with it. So what do I rate it on? Do I rate it on it not being my forte and not my really kind of favorite style of music, or do I just rate it on what I thought the overall tunes were? Um, I think it's a solid album, man. There was a lot of things going on with the mix, and that this thing had so many B's, and then that C on there for me. I like the fact that they're hometown boys. I do dig that. That does kind of play in the role, but for me to give them anything than what I honestly think the album's worth, on my opinion alone, I would probably give it a 7.75.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a horrible album by any means. It should it should definitely be checked out if you're into uh 90 mid 90s alternative, but it's once again, I'm I'm probably not going to listen to this again. There was nothing that really stood out on me aside from that A plus, and it's like, am I going to buy this album for that one song? Probably not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, 7.75 from me, man. Not a bad little kicker. I see why you turned me on to it. Maybe down the road I'll turn you on to Watershed's album. It's a live album.
Okay.
So,
Very
yeah.
cool. I forgot all about this album uh, until you started bringing the single Sugabog. And what other good local bands were there? And I just remembered Howlin Maggie
Hey,
in
do me a
my
favor. Aim your mic at yourself a little bit better. You just keep dropping in and out there, bud.
it's probably the dog. So, but um, but yeah, I mean, Howlin Maggie was they were the big dog in Columbus. You had Saddleback Shark and Delightfully Strange, and then but Howlin Maggie was something different. Um, I really enjoyed this album. Alcohol was actually a single. I remember them playing that on the Blitz quite a bit, but um, I don't understand. I didn't pick up what he was talking about on the mix. I thought it was really well produced. But yeah, again, you're listening to it through headphones. I'm listening to it more with just in the truck. So just a different thing there. But cool. All right. Well, you gave me the self-titled album from Obituary. Obituary, released March 17th, 2017. Total of 11 songs with the CD bonus track and about 36 minutes. It's got some pretty good reviews. It was consistently rated among the top 20 or so of metal albums in 2017. Decibel, Loudwire, Revolver, Rolling Stone all gave it some, mid, you know, mid-range, standings in that 14, 17, 20, whatever. But they had a couple of new guys on this album. Kenny Andrews on lead guitar, and then Terry Butler on bass. And both of them really shine on this album. There was um, definitely a statement album for all these guys. But I really think, especially for these two newcomers on here, so it was Obituary's 10th album, and yeah, pretty interesting. So here we go. Track one, Brave. I gave this an A plus. This is a great opener. It's a high power statement song. Lead guitar just absolutely shines on this. It starts screaming in around the 1 minute mark. Vocals are pretty solid. And they're somewhat understandable. Uh, so I was like, okay, still a little more. His vocal style on this is a little more like your style. A little
Yeah.
more. He's got a. You've got more gravel, a little more deep end on yours, but similar vocal style. But
And you gave this one a what?
A+.
Nice.
Yeah, I dug that. Next up was Sentence Day, another A+. Here comes another guitar assault. Pure old school. This could have this could have stayed an instrumental and still been killer. It's a flawless song. Probably my favorite song on the album. Um, just the guitar harmonics as they're like playing with each other, just killer. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. A+.
Nice.
Next up, A Lesson in Vengeance. This is a mid-tempo song with a driving beat, really cool bass groove. Um, it's sing along. This is a sing along tune. Just give me something. Just give me a sign. Obviously I can't sing like that. Um, and again, more killer guitar work. I gave this a solid A. So next up, we've got End It Now, another killer cut, pure riffage. And I put in here 4 songs in on, and I'm beyond shocked that this is so good. Like, especially coming off last week's, I was like, ugh.
Right.
And then, but this, I mean, the guitar playing on this Andrews kid, dude, killer, just
Dude,
killer, dude.
let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
The drummer and the singer are brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And that drummer does not get enough credit, in my personal opinion, in the field. And
Mm-hmm.
him and John, the singer, dude, Obituary has some of the most discernible vocals in death metal. And that's why they're so accessible. You know what I mean? And they just, for me, they shine on just about every album, dude. But they, no matter who they bring aboard, they bring
Mm-hmm.
great players aboard, and they do not mess around, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a little bit of a revolving door for other musicians. I don't know if it's by choice or, just stuff happens, but and I don't have any idea how long these other guys have stuck around or if they're still with them, but man, that Kenny Andrews he's something special, dude. He's absolutely something special. Let's see. Next up is Kneel Before Me. I gave this a B+. Um, Song's okay, but man, that solo is just so tasty. It's very tasteful. It's no note is wasted. Like there's not a lot of busyness. It's just every note means something. In that, and that's really what saved it from being like a C. That solo work on there was just really good. Next up for me, It Lives. What I write here, it says Cookie Monster starts it off. Uh, his vocals was not very good on this to me. It's a solid riff, but it doesn't really go anywhere. Like there's no solo until like the last 20 or 30 seconds. And I was okay, it was a B. It's just eh. Next up, Betrayed. I gave this a B+. It's another solid riff, but his vocals were like doubled. Like they like doubled, and it sounded like a hot mess. Uh, but more phenomenal lead guitar. So B+. Turn to Stone. Absolutely skippable. lyrics make no sense. Um, the even the upbeat pace increase doesn't help this song. See, just not very good. Uh, then we up with Straight to Hell. Solid riff and groove. This to me had like a little bit of a Limp Bizkit vibe to it.
What?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
That's
There's
crazy,
some,
dude.
yeah, dude. Little Limp Bizkit vibe. I totally dug it. I gave it an A. 10,000 Ways to Die. B plus. Again, pretty solid song. Solid groove. Not a great closer. Uh, Beautiful solo. And I put that on there because when it was originally released, this was the closer, and then they put it on the CD. It changed, but beautiful solo. It's fine, but it just wasn't. It wasn't as good as this first half of this album. And it did seem interesting to me. Like there's a discernible difference between the first 5 songs to the last 5. I I don't know what it was, but just I don't know. And then the bonus track was No Hope. I gave this an A. This is actually a really good closer. This is a great fast tempo closer. Um, just pure smoke show on the guitars. Pure smoke, man. Just
So let me ask
follow.
you. Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
I've taken you into a bit of the death metal journey,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I hit a sweet spot with Obituary with you.
At least this album.
Okay, so give me some time, and I'm going to see if there isn't somebody else I couldn't point in your ear. You didn't. You gave Jungle Rot what I kind of expected you to give Jungle Rot. I'm looking forward to see what you give Obituary tonight. But
Mm-hmm.
I think after you listen to those first 5 songs, like that you enjoy more so, you get it. My question to you, as I had a question for you last weekend,
Mm-hmm.
of all the songs on this album, what do you think is my favorite song?
Hmm. Let me look here. I'm gonna say. Hmm. I'm gonna say either Kneel Before Me or It Lives.
Wrong and wrong.
Hmm.
And I'm going to tell you this
Hmm.
for all of you watching and paying attention at home. This is actually my hands down at this point in time until I get my hands on those other 2 albums and really dive into them. A Lesson in Vengeance is hands down my favorite Obituary tune. Now, my favorite Obituary album would probably be a toss up
I can
between
see
between this one and
that. Hmm.
the first 3. Slowly We Rot is just a phenomenal album. Cause of Death is a phenomenal album. I can't remember what else was there. Uh, Damn, I can't remember right off the top of my head. But I absolutely love this band, dude. I think they are. I I am kicking myself in the ass because as many times as I know they've probably come through Columbus, being Florida natives,
Hmm.
I've never went and seen them. I own all of their stuff musically because I enjoyed their music, and I even own gear, shirts, and shit. I probably order a new Obituary shirt here in the next couple months. But when I finally got to see them at Sonic Temple, I was just floored, absolutely floored, and is
Hmm.
so upset with myself because I felt like I've been I've been ignoring one of my favorite, if not my favorite, death metal band ever. You know, I was just like, shit. Why have I not? Don't take. I want to say this to anybody out there watching. Don't take for granted that they're always going to be there. I never got to see any rendition of Chris Cornell.
Yeah.
I never got to see Alice in Chains with Lane Staley.
Mm-hmm.
I never got to see Pandera with Dime or Vinny.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just if you get the opportunity, go see the show, man.
Mm.
You want to see it, go see it.
Yeah. I mean, definitely check it out, especially if Kenny's still with them for sure. But all in all, I think I'm going to give this album because I'm not going to listen to this all the time. But this would fall into if I'm in the mood for like some Slayer, for something real fast paced and a little more attitude. This would fall on one of those days. Um, I'm gonna give it. I got to give it an 8 because it was such a. It's a good album. It's a solid album. But man, it was literally like a tale of two sides. So
And you have that sometimes. There's, maybe one
yeah.
side that you enjoy a little more than the other, and
Mm-hmm.
nothing's really super major wrong with the other side because there's you are still getting some pretty decent tunes there. But that's one of the things I could tell you is like I can throw on my whole Obituary discography and
Mm-hmm.
just play from beginning to end, and I'm just grooving. Just yeah, this is good shit. This is
Yeah.
good shit to listen to. You know what I mean? So, uh, yeah, fuck yeah, dude. I'm very proud of you. I think we hit a nice sweet spot with you with fucking death metal and
Mm-hmm.
Obituary were fucking rules, dude.
That's right. And one of these days, you'll actually like some alternative besides Gin Blossoms.
No, it's not just that, dude. It's just like for me, living through that era, the best to do it was the Smashing Pumpkins. And that's just in my personal opinion. You know,
That is your personal opinion. All right. Well,
uh,
what are you giving me for next week? 'Cause what you give me is probably going to determine what I give you.
dude, I'm gonna tell you what. Just because you gave me something locally,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to say that maybe this happened right around that same time as well. I want to give you Watershed, Three Chords, and A Cloud of Dust live.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember running out and picking up this album. I did dig this album overall for something that is a little more along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't want to, continue to beat you in the face with fast-paced, brutal vocals and stuff. I want you to check something out that I think you may enjoy. And
Okay.
since you gave me something local, I'll give you something local as well.
All right. Well, now I'm going to surprise you. I'm going to give you some Doom.
Nice.
I really dig these dudes, and I've never mentioned them to you before. But you are getting Goat Snake, Flower of Disease. This is my kind of Doom.
Goat Snake, Flower of Disease.
Mm-hmm.
Give me one
Album
second.
came out in 2000. We were jamming to this at the record store last week, and I was like, dude, that's pretty killer. That's really cool. So started doing a little dive on them, and I totally dig this.
And you found out they were Doom, huh?
It definitely feels like Doom to me. I don't know what their official title is, but definitely Doomy to me.
Huh.
Yeah.
Let me take a look real quick. Because I may even know who this fucking band is.
Hmm.
Or at least members of this band. They
Yeah.
are a stoner doom metal band from LA.
There you go.
And Who do we have for members? Holy shit.
Hmm.
Joey Castillo used to play for him.
No kidding.
Yeah, he was in Danzig. I think I recognize a few of these names. Yeah, this would be interesting, man. This would be really fucking interesting. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. So, once again, if you like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We look forward to seeing you guys with next week's reviews. Hopefully, I'm feeling a little bit better and not so much under the weather. Bruce, I want to thank you for just hanging out and talking music with me. Thank you for turning me on to so many great albums. I hope we're turning you fans onto some pretty great albums ourselves. Thank you to all of these bands that put the work and the effort into this. We appreciate it so much, and our goal is to turn you on to new things and say, hey, if you haven't checked these things out, check them out. And we would hope that you would turn us on to new things too. So we're looking forward to hearing from any of you at any point in time. We'll review anything. Bruce,
Yeah.
anything to add to that?
Yeah, everyone, thanks again for tuning in. Please share it, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Put on some notification bells. Spotify, Apple, YouTube, anywhere you get your podcast. We really appreciate it. And all the word of mouth is critical for growing this thing to make us bigger and better so we can keep bringing you really cool things.
Also, one thing I do want to mention on the social media side of things, I know that TikTok is still somewhat a huge thing, and we want to get clips and things up over there. Problem is, we know that something's going to be happening with TikTok. I do not want to invest time and effort into a platform that may be disappearing and moving over to another source. Once the TikTok thing situates itself out, we'll get that worked out. Okay. I just it's still in limbo. You know what I mean? We know it's been bought. What's going to happen with the servers, or are they just going to keep it? Or are they going to move it over to something else? And I don't want to invest the time and effort in that if we lose everything. At least
Now we got Instagram.
I need to be a little more active on there. Anyways, thanks again for everything, Bruce. It's been a wonderful evening. I'm Tone.
I'm Bruce.
And we're hooked on Sonics. We will see you guys next week.
See ya.